Thanks very much, Sifiso and Fred, for this chat that we're about to embark upon. We're talking about hedge funds. What do you feel were the key takeaways in the hedge fund space in 2023?
Post the pandemic, I think ESG was still quite a bit topical. But the interesting thing is that the conversations have migrated to more practical aspects of ESG. So it's closer to home. The biggest theme, I think, was around the 45% limit of offshore investing, where we saw lots of funds leaving SA and people investing offshore.
What do you anticipate, Fred, in terms of, some opportunities right across the yield curve? What opportunities are there in the hedge funds market this year?
So I think we've seen a launch of a lot of AI funds at the moment. It's a play on a lot of data and analytics in order to take the funds forward. What we've also seen is, in particular around South Africa, I think up and coming elections and what the effect that's going to have on, one, the country and on our asset managers and hedge funds in particular. Something else is the reform of state-owned enterprises that they're looking at and how that's going to potentially impact.
So once upon a time, hedge funds were a niche market in terms of the fund management space, but increasingly that seems to be changing. How would you say they've evolved from when they started till now?
I like it when you say once upon a time. I think we're still in that time. Hedges are, I think, are still a very good era for fund managers as a very good option for them. They seem to be less risky. So from a risk-adjusted returns perspective, I think they are quite competitive. So I think they're still doing fairly okay.
So why have we seen that transition? Why are we increasingly seeing more portfolio managers moving into the hedge fund space? Your observations?
So I'd like to call it that whole alternate space. And what we've seen happen as of late is, going back in history, the asset managers now have another tool in their box. And that tool is a hedge fund. And it's not there to go and compete with any of the managers. It's just another arrow they can use in order to put the offering out there, enhance the offering, enhance the solution they take to market.
Now, Sifiso, we know that the financial sector has traditionally been a male environment, and we know that's changing, rapidly with transformation. But just give us a sense of why you think it's so important for women to be involved, particularly in the hedge fund space.
Everyone, I think, needs to do their bit to ensure that transformation happens in a market, that there's diversity in execution, and really to increase financial inclusion so that everyone gets a piece of the pie.
Off the back of that, what we think it allows for both personal and professional success of the female manager. Also, what happens via the R&B program, we're able to help them build their track record and give them access to conferences and functions where they would not necessarily have had that opportunity.
Within the incubation program is exactly what Freddie is speaking about. So this is where R&B is doing its bit to make sure that there's a level of transformation in the industry and the diversification that I was talking about. If you consider these small emerging managers, especially within the female space, they don't have many resources that they have available for them to be successful. And so that's where we come in with our resources and we assist them in various ways of doing it. And to extend to that, I mean, obviously there's a process of some sort, but we even offer seed for them to fund whatever strategies that they might have. Then we guide them through it, and then we handhold them, and we put as much effort as possible to make sure that they are successful.